So this is the entrance to the old 144. The door looks pretty much the same, but everything else is different. And there's a camera here, but originally there was a camera at the top of the stairway. And when you opened the door, we couldn't lock the door. So we opened the door, there was a sign on the camera that said you are being looked at or something like that. But there was actually no camera in it, it was just a housing. So that was our security system in 1965. My studio was right there above the word stationary, right in the center. And there was a balcony that a little about, this wide, a balcony that obviously they've had to take down because it was unsafe. But that's the balcony I used to walk out onto through the window to get fresh air and smoke a cigarette. And below, right here, was Bleecker Street Cinema, which was an avant-garde art cinema house. And one day I was working on Silver Apples early on, and I played the music very loud. It was going all the time. And one time I stepped out to take a cigarette, and there were 3 or 4 people, like we are, looking up, because they were hearing the music coming out. And so I was having a hard time. I mean, we're talking 1966, and I didn't know how long something should last. It was hard. Almost the first instance of someone doing this studio art. And so I was listening and listening. I didn't know how the balance should be. And so I got this idea that people were standing there, and I said, would you like to hear this? And they come up to my studio. And about 3 or 4 of them, and they came up. And I sat them down, and I said, and there was one guy who wouldn't sit. He just stood behind them. And he kept raising his hand, and I said, I don't want anyone to say anything or ask anything. I'm going to play it for you. And then I had an extra chair where I sat in, and then I'm going to ask you to leave. And so they did, and they all left except this one guy. And he's there, and he was just exhausted, raising his hand again. I said, what's the deal with you? He said, I didn't come to listen to your music. I'm running the cinema downstairs, and we've had to stop the show because your music's too loud.